everyone, today's video is going to be about getting neatly defined frizz-free curls. And that itself sounds like an impossible task, but I can assure you it's not. Especially if you're following good technique and you're using the proper products, it shouldn't be nearly as hard as it seems to be. So I'll walk you through what I do on those days where I need my hair to be absolutely perfect. And hopefully this will work for you. If I have any comments on, I guess, the other ends of the curl spectrum, so if you're wavy or if you have very, very curly hair, I'll try and throw in any tips that I know about those, if I know any. That said, I'm only kind of an expert on my own hair, so I'm not the best person to ask about those things. So, yeah, I followed this routine today, so this is kind of what my hair turned out like. I think it looks pretty good. So if I kind of do like a close-up here, you'll see everything is pretty neatly defined. If I look at these sections, and I have individual curls, they're not clumping too big, but they're not too stringy. And I have some frizz in the back, but not too much. So overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and that's kind of why I'm going through this video. So this is kind of the finished hair look. So what I did today was I washed and conditioned my hair as usual. And the important part of this routine is really, it comes down to combing and styling, I think. So in the shower, I applied my regular sulfate-free shampoo to my scalp and I rinsed that out just as usual. When it came down to conditioner, what I like to do is apply a generous amount of conditioner to my the length of my hair, and I just kind of rake that through with my fingers. Then I take a comb, and I use a wide tooth comb, something like this, and I actually flip my head upside down, and I comb the conditioner all the way through my hair. So the reason that I do that is because curly hair tends to get very tangled, and you want to make sure that you start off as tangle-free as possible, because of course if you have a bunch of hairs that are all interlocked and going all sorts of different directions, they're not going to curl nicely as one unit. They're just going to be doing their own thing and being uncooperative and frizzy. So you want to make sure that you're getting all of the loose hairs that you may have shed throughout the day or, you know, overnight or whatever in your hair. You need to get them out. You're supposed to lose around 100 hairs a day. And, you know, if your hair is curly like mine, they don't fall out all the time. So they get stuck in there, and when your hair is wet and you have lots and lots of conditioner in it, that is the time to detangle. So I've heard people say, you know, well, I've heard that you're not supposed to comb your hair while it's wet. And I think that's said a lot of the times for people with straight hair. But however, you know, it's perfectly fine to comb your hair while it's wet, as long as there's lots and lots of conditioner in it and you're using a wide tooth comb. Yes, the hair is a little bit more, I guess, elastic, and you might damage the hair. That's kind of the thought process behind that. But, you know, in my mind, it's not more damaging than really trying to take this and rake it through my hair as it stands right now. That's going to cause just tons of breakage, and it's going to be painful and not good. So detangle your hair in the shower. The reason I flip my hair upside down is because I want to get a little bit more volume. You're welcome to kind of, you know, comb through your hair with the conditioner right side up, but I find that if I do everything kind of right side up, when I'm done with the shower and it's time to style my hair, the water weighs it down and it looks very flat up top, no matter if I clip it or not. So detangle the hair. That's the important thing to do in the shower. What I then do is I kind of do a rinse with cold water to seal in the moisture from the conditioner, and I don't rinse out all of my conditioner. I used a little bit of this Kinky Curly Knot today, which is a leave-in conditioner. I use it as my regular conditioner as well, but today I used a different conditioner. I rinsed that out, and then I applied, you know, a generous puddle of this product and distributed it through my soaking wet hair upside down. And I combed it in, and then I as well added a little bit of extra, and I scrunched it up towards my head. Not squeezing out a lot of the water in my hair, just a little bit. And because the product is very, very slippery, it really helps to kind of coat the hair and make them clump as individual units, as opposed to kind of drying out and separating and going in all sorts of different directions. So that's what I did. After that, I applied my styling product. Now, if you want to have good curl definition, a very important choice is the styling product. And the one that I chose to use was the Kinky Curly Original Curling Custard, which is a very, very thick gel. So if I just show you, I think there's a hair in there. That's kind of gross. So it looks like that. Very, very thick gel. And it just smells like vanilla pudding, which I also like. And this one here is, you know, an organic, very natural based product that's free of silicones and all that other bad stuff. So what I like about this gel is that it's very slippery. It's easy to distribute through the hair. Some gels have a lot of kind of drying alcohols in them, and when you put them through the hair, you immediately feel like your hair is drying faster, that it feels kind of like straw, whereas this one maintains the slip and the moisture for a very long time. That said, it does take longer to dry, so that's something to be aware of. You want to pick a gel that has a very, very, very strong hold. And I personally don't like crunchy hair, but that's not something you have to worry about. Your first priority is making sure that the hair is soaking wet so that it can form frizz-free curls and clump together properly. And then the second thing is to encase each of those in a really strong hold gel to protect the curl pattern for when it's drying. Kind of making a cast around the curl and acting as a barrier against the elements and the wind and the environment and whatnot. So I applied this through my hair, just scrunching it. Some people might want to comb the product into their hair. I know sometimes people with wavy hair like to use a fine tooth comb to encourage clumping and curl formation. Some days I comb through my hair. Today I didn't. I just used a generous amount of this product, and because of the leave-in styler that I had that was very slippery, I found that I didn't need to use a comb to evenly coat my hair. You might find using different products, you might need to use the comb to really ensure that you're getting the gel throughout every kind of strand of hair that you have. So I applied this, thoroughly to my hair. And I did this upside down as well. I raked it through, I scrunched it. At this point, it was still dripping wet. I did this all in the shower. Once I have the product in my hair, I kind of did a shake with my hair like this, or my head, and then I flipped my hair back. Once I do that, I kind of just part it with my fingers and I let it fall. And at this point, it's kind of sopping and it's like sticking to my head. So this is the time to fix any unruly sections of hair that look like they're going to dry frizzy and aren't clumping properly. And as well, to clip your hair to give it volume at the root so it's not weighed down by the heavy gel and the water in your hair. So what I do is I tend to comb sections of the hair that get frizzy for me, or the ones that are kind of on the canopy of my hair here. So anything that's like the top layer, because this gets kind of exposed to the outside world a little bit more, and it gets roughed up and messy. So I tend to take a comb. I use a wide tooth comb, and sometimes I just use my fingers as a rake. And what I'll do is I will take a little bit of extra product, and I'll take a curl like this if it's all kind of frizzing out. I'll comb that through with my fingers, and then I'll give it a shake. Or the other thing I'll do is I'll take a section of hair and I'll twist it around my finger, give it a shake, and let go, just to form better curls in different areas of my head, on different areas of my head, and kind of make sure that everything is in a curl formation as opposed to just a dry frizzy patch. You don't want to leave anything like that. If your hair's starting to dry and it's getting frizzy, re-wet a brush, re-wet your fingers, apply a little bit more product, and really spend this time while your hair is wet to style the curls how you want them. Because the thing is that, you know, when you're in the shower and your hair is wet or whatever, you know, if you're swimming and your hair is wet, the point is that your hair is not frizzy then, okay? Because it has lots of moisture in it and it's being weighed down. So when it's wet is the perfect time to style it the way that you want it, and then you really just use the gel to seal in the style that you've created. So that is what I did. I don't have my clips here. I thought I brought them. But if you have any of those duckbill clips, or, you know, even a butterfly, small butterfly clips, or those claw clips, whatever you call them, I don't know. And I clipped my hair up at the roots here just to give some lift. Some people who don't have as much volume as me, they find that all the products that they put in their hair weighs their hair down, and it gets curly here, but it's very, very flat up top, and you want to avoid that whenever possible. So just lifting sections of the hair and inserting a clip to hold it in place as it dries. Because you have that gel cast forming around each one of your curls, it's really important to not disrupt that at all during the drying process. So avoid touching your hair if possible. Just don't touch it. If you're irritated by all of the water kind of dripping all over you, you want to grab a microfiber towel and scrunch the hair after you've already, so it's soaking wet, and then you apply the product and then you scrunch it. I tend to not scrunch the moisture out of my hair before applying the product because I want the product to distribute a little bit better, and I want to get the curls the way that I want them while the hair is wet. So after I've kind of scrunched my hair a little bit dry and the clips are in, do not touch your hair. This is the time where you want to kind of let the curl cast form. So I'll leave my hair for at least, 10 to 15 minutes or so to kind of dry on its own a little bit, or at least form a little bit of a crunchy barrier. And only at that point in time will I go and bust out the diffuser if I really need my hair to dry in a hurry. The reason I don't go in with the diffuser right away is because I find that it just kind of like melts the product. Your hair hasn't had that chance to really form that hard cast, and nothing is really set. So the heat and the blowing around will just tend to mess everything up that you've just done. So I let it kind of set a little bit, and then today I ended up having to take a diffuser. I actually had my grad photos taken today, and I only kind of had an hour to kind of shower and get everything done before I had to go back to work, and then I had to go back and take my grad photos. So it was like a bit of a rush around to do my makeup and do my hair, and it was actually, this morning I was kind of stressed out because I was like, you need to have your hair dry by the time the picture happens, and whenever I use a blow dryer or diffuser, it never really turns out that well. But I was impressed today because I use a little bit more product than usual. So just letting it set is very important to getting good results. After I went in there with the diffuser, I didn't diffuse it all the way dry. I just did it and so it wasn't dripping all over me. At that point in time, I went to work. I let my hair dry on its own for about an hour or so. And then by the time I came home, most of the external curls had dried and they felt like a little bit crunchy to the touch. And it was just sort of in the bulk of my hair here that was a little bit damp still. So I went ahead with my diffuser. Obviously I took out the clips before I went to work. Try and leave the clips in as long as possible. What I did was when I was driving back into work, I put the heat on in my car and it acted like a big diffuser just to help even more because I was scared that it wasn't going to dry. So I took out the clips and I diffused my hair. At which point in time, I started to get really good curl formation and I was happy with the overall look. My hair was still crunchy after diffusing. And if you don't like the crunchy feel, that's the time to scrunch out the crunch with your hands, just on their own, to break the curl cast and just release the curl so that it falls in a more natural state and it doesn't look as crispy and hard. However, if you are going somewhere where you know that your hair might get messed up along the way, so for me it was, I had to take the bus to school to get my picture taken, and it's windy outside, I did not scrunch out the crunch. I went to school with my hair dry, with it looking like it's wet because I have so much gel in it and it's all hard and crunchy. Because that curl cast, the gel cast, will protect your hair just from the disturbances of life, okay? So once I got to my grad photo, I scrunched my hair out at that point in time to make it look a little bit more natural looking, so that it was protected on the journey, and when I needed it to look good, I just made it look a little bit more natural through scrunching. I don't tend to use any product while scrunching it out. I find just hands is enough for me. However, if you needed something, you could use something like coconut oil, smooth it for an extra shine, and just to soften the curls a little bit. So they've dried kind of very individually defined. If you want to add a little bit more volume, because the gel will make it look kind of flat, crunchy, stuck to your head initially. After you've scrunched it, what I do is I kind of flip my head upside down, and I put my hands just as close to the scalp as possible like this, and I shake my fingers along my scalp. You don't want to rake through the curls and break what you've already created, but you just want to add a little bit more volume. So I kind of go like this and mess with it a little bit to give it a little bit more lift and to get bigger hair, because I tend to like big hair as long as it's defined. I don't like big frizzy hair, but I like big hair with just defined curls and a little bit of frizz. So that's what I did to get this look. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So if you have any questions about anything that I've said, feel free to leave a comment or send me a message and I'll get back to you. That's all there is to it. So hope everyone is having a great day, and until next time, bye!